Welcome back to a new IPL Team Tiering episode. And oh, what's that? Is that a new channel name? We cover extra cricket here. Yeah, I made that just for the pun. But anyway, we're going to start with KKR first. They played 4 games with 1 no result and 3 losses. Their main strengths are their solid power play batting and their sort of improved death batting. Currently, they're weak on anything related to bowling. And this week, all they played was Lucknow, and they lost on the last ball thanks to some amazing batting from Ayush Badoni and Mukul Chowdhury. I don't really think you can blame KKR's bowling for Mukul Chowdhury's 50 because his knock was just amazing. Any delivery was put away, whether it was a bouncer, a wide yorker, or just a good length ball on middle. We'll talk about Mukul Chowdhury later, but KKR could have maybe tried to bowl a little on the back foot to him, especially later on. But again, absolutely nothing was really working against him. Uzur Rabbani played well into Mukul Chowdhury's weaknesses, so maybe he was a missing piece against them. Against Sunrisers, he was solid-ish, so might be worth keeping Blessing in the 11. Probably is worth it. Their batting still does need work. I always rated Rosman Powell really high just because he can clear the boundary so easily, and he did that when KKR were in trouble at 111 for 4 after losing 3 quick wickets. Green also found a bit of rhythm at the death, but again, the batting against spin just hasn't been that great. But the stats show otherwise. KKR averages 27.3 versus pace. I removed the Punjab match because it was washed out and it kind of ruined both the stats. And they strike at 165. However, against spin, they've only lost 3 wickets and strike at the same rate. In fact, they're ever so slightly better against spin with a strike rate of 166. This kind of surprised me because KKR did seem to slow against spin in the Lucknow match, and even in other matches they seemed to slow against spin. And even Rinku wasn't all that great against the spinners while chasing 227 against the Sunrisers. But it's not really KKR who slows down against spin, it's rather Rahane and Raghuvanshi who slow down. Raghuvanshi normally utilizes the power play really well, even Rahane does, but they both still do slow down against spin. But in the Sunrisers match, there were a lot of misfields for Rinku, meaning he did score a lot more against Shivam Kumar, but in actuality, he wasn't all that good. It's actually not all spin that they struggle against. In fact, against leg spin, it's actually pretty solid. They haven't gotten out to leg spin a single time, but they strike out 200 against them. And then off spin, however, they really struggle against that. 127 strike rate against off spin, and they've only lost wickets against off spin. They just really need to get that fixed. Their next games are at Chennai, at Ahmedabad, and against the Royals at home. Not too bad. I do see them making the Chennai game somewhat close. The Ahmedabad game is definitely fairly easy to lose considering how much damage they just take from off spin and just how bad their pace is. And the game against the Royals will also be difficult to win, but honestly, it could make a good battle in the power play between Rahane, Raghuvanshi, Berger, and Archer. The spin is too good for them. I'm going to put them in D tier for now. Also, Allen hasn't done anything, and I think Seifert should still come in over Green. That's it. I don't really have anything else to say. Speaking of the Royals, they're next. This week they only played against MI and RCB, and they won both of those games fairly convincingly. Actually, their only close game was against the Titans, which they also won. Their power play batting is the strongest part of their team, easily, but everything else looks pretty above average. They're also ruling the leaderboard with Suryavanshi, Jaiswal, and Jarrell being 3 of the leading run scorers. And Ravi Bishnoi is on the purple cap list with 9 wickets in 4 innings at 12.7 and an economy of 8.8 and a strike rate of just 8.7. Suryavanshi particularly has been pretty insane, hitting 200 runs in 4 innings at a strike rate of 267. Not 167, 200. And 267. Not 210, not 220, not 230, not even 250, 267. Of every player who scored above 13 runs in this IPL, Suryavanshi is the one with the highest strike rate. And even then, Narayan strikes at 300 after playing 1 innings, Bosch strikes at 275 after playing 1 innings as well, and they both have 11 and 12 runs respectively. The closest I can compare this to is Priyancharya, who has hit half the runs in 3 innings, and he's done it at a strike rate of 264, which that's also insane. That's like 264 is that's like scoring 3 runs every single delivery. And what happens when you score 3 runs every single delivery? You go at a run rate of 18. That's a score of 360 in a T20 game. So again, that's how insane it is. I don't really want to talk about him right now. Again, 10 to 15 years in the future, while I'm still doing who knows what, this guy's probably in his age-wise prime for cricket, and I think he's going to be banned for being too good. Like, you know the lie Barney Stinson got told by his mom in How I Met Your Mother? He was banned off the basketball team for being too good. Like, he was terrible. That's the real story. But this guy's just going to be banned for being too good at some point. He's 15 years old. Even if he is lying, again, he's definitely under 21. Like, you've got to be kidding me, right? It's not just the bad bowlers he's smashed as well. He smashed the good ones also. But again, that's enough. I still want to talk about their weak link. They just don't have a middle order. Parag was good in the Mumbai game. He put on an extra 20 runs in 10 balls, but Hetmeyer, Ferreira, Jadeja, they've literally done nothing. Hetmeyer tried to play a Sachin... This sentence gets really weird every time I say it. Hetmeyer tried to play a Sachin Tendulkar-like uppercut on his first ball against a bouncer off of an off-spinner against RCB. At that point, you just can't get worse, you know. Jadeja, he anchored well, I guess. He did score 24 runs in 25 balls, but he did help Jarrell finish in the end after RCB got 3 quick wickets. Ferreira has batted only once in this whole IPL season, so again, they just really have nothing to do, and they really have done nothing. But they really don't have to do much. You know, Jarrell, Jesu, Suryavanshi, they're all really good. Bowling has been okay overall. I really doubt their death over strengths because they let Overton, Patidar, and Venki play amazingly against them in those matches. But again, you can't just not remember the GT match. That was an amazing game. I think they should definitely back Deshpande a bit more at home, especially. Guwahati could have been a great place for him to bowl, especially with the rhythm they had against RCB at 94 for 6. And their next games are at Hyderabad, at Kolkata, at Lucknow. 3 away games is kind of hard, but I will back them up against Kolkata. The Hyderabad game will definitely be a test for the Pacers, so it could definitely get close with Suryavanshi up against Hyderabad's power play bowling as well. The Lucknow is definitely Rajasthan's game. There's no way. For now, they're going to go in S tier. Again, A or B tier is kind of where I'd put them at if I was like going to be completely honest, but I just don't really want people yelling at me in the comments because like A or B tier, they're definitely going to fall off soon. That's just the way games work. That's just the way sports works. They're going to lose a game at some point. They're not going to go undefeated. But like A or B tier is where I'd put them at. They're kind of like the team who kind of spirals into losing games. They did this in 2024. DC did it in 2025. They're the kind of team to do that. So A or B tier is normally what I put them at. And then especially on paper, they don't look that good. So I still want to remind people of that. Like, they never look good on paper. They're still an okay team, but they never look good on paper. So I'm not going to put them in, but I'm not going to put them in A or B tier. They're still table toppers. They've still gone undefeated. You have to give them the credit for that. And they've not really had anything that wrong with them. Punjab is next. They are the only team to have gone undefeated in this tournament thus far, or only other team to have gone undefeated in this tournament thus far. Their batting has definitely been one of the best in this IPL, while their bowling has kind of left a lot to be desired. Honestly, I rated their pace bowling really high, but Arshdeep and Jansen just haven't had the same impact that they should have. Their spin has been okay, but it's just really Yuzvendra Chahal. He's been solid enough in these last 3 matches for me to not really have him listed as a concern, but again, he's their only spin bowler. Vaishak Vijay Kumar has been their best bowler in general, taking 5 wickets in 3 innings, averaging 21 but going at 10.5. He is a really good bowler. I do believe Punjab should be doing a lot better with the pace though. So yeah, they still do have a lot to work on. There's not much I could really say to improve their bowling. I think sticking to the lines that go into the batter more is a lot better for them instead of going wide. Vaishak is doing good enough on the wide deliveries though. Chahal is doing fine for spin. That's really it. Bartlett has done well by bowling on middle. Arshdeep and Jansen just really have to get their game in and perform well as leaders of this bowling attack. Priyansh Arya and Prabhsimran Singh have been great while opening. Connolly has been good at anchoring at 3. Shreyas Iyer has provided some impact at 4, and Wadira and Shashank helped them enough to finish this game. I just forgot how to speak, and wow. Okay, They do have a good game plan just to chase like any score possible by staying in and just playing the innings out and rather tiring the bowlers instead of actually counter-attacking or anything. But if they're batting first, I would definitely want to feel a bit more cautious. Right now, they're going to go into probably A tier. I do think they're a B tier team in general just because of their bowling is so weak. But they are undefeated, and because after that Lucknow game, after the next Lucknow game, the other games are definitely going to test their skills. They could definitely go into B tier very much. Lucknow and MI should be fairly easy wins, but Delhi might be a little too difficult for them, and Delhi might also want to make a great comeback. I feel like Badani is the kind of person to really want that comeback, and it will be more difficult thanks to their spin versatility and thanks to their deep batting lineup. And also, speaking of Delhi, they've lost 2 matches on the trot now. One to former Wood and Spooners Chennai, and the other to the Gujarat match that should have easily been won. Their strengths are their opening batting and their death bowling, and their weak points are honestly kind of hard to identify. They've generally been good in all of their matches, but if I need to say something, I would say their middle order and finishing is kind of bad. It's the primary reason as to why they lost the GT match, but it's also the primary reason for them to getting close in that GT match. So it's not really that much of a weakness overall. The real weakness is kind of their mindset. After they lose a game, they spiral into losing more games, but then they just need to take more risks in general. Miller should have easily won that Gujarat match. If not, they should have at least gone to a super over. Against CSK, the same spiraling is what caused them to lose all those wickets and lose the game eventually. They lost 4 wickets for 15 runs after losing KL Rahul, and again, it's just too difficult to come back after that. Miller and Stubbs, they did try to make a comeback, but again, the spiraling just hits you crazily. This doesn't really apply to the bowling, though. The bowling has done pretty consistently, surprisingly, because and that again, Mukesh Kumar is not the most consistent player. Kuldeep Yadav is not the most consistent player. Natarajan is not the most consistent player. So it does kind of surprise me how consistent their bowling has been over this period of time. Right now, I'm going to put them in B tier. Kuldeep and Aksar haven't really found their form yet this season, so their spin does look kind of bad. They just look very vulnerable right now, and they look very beatable. Their next matches are a lot tougher as well. They are against Bangalore away, Sunrisers away, and Punjab at home. I think they could give really good competition in all of these games. They have a really good chance to better their playoff chances in all these matches, especially with how good their death bowling is. The Punjab one might be a bit difficult just because their batting lineup is so good, but I'm expecting some good competition there. I do believe that their full-strength team should be able to win these matches, though, and honestly, their team just looks really strong, not even on paper. It's just really strong in actuality. They contrast each other really well. They look to have good team, what do you call it, team spirit? Something like that. They look to have good team spirit. Their team song is also really good. I really love it. I really love their anthem. But that's not relevant to cricket. Is it? I guess it's kind of relevant. We'll talk about that later. I think that would be a good idea for a video over the summer. Their full strength team should be able to win these matches, though. They just have to change their team mentality, is what I'm trying to say. The Sunrisers are next. They're really inconsistent with everything. There's not one thing you can point to and say, oh, that's actually pretty bad. The middle order does well in one game, but then they do terrible in another. Their opening, which is supposed to be their strong part, is amazing in one game, but terrible in the next. Their pace bowling does well in one game, does terribly in another. Their spin bowling has been pretty consistent, though. They are inexperienced, but again, they've done amazingly. Harsh Dubey, taken 5 wickets in 4 games, averaging 22 and going at around 8. Shivam Kumar has taken 4 in 3, averaging 26 and going at 8.7. Safe to say, spin is their main strength after 4 years of missing Rashid Khan. This week they had only 1 game and they lost it against Punjab. This was very much a defendable score as well. I get that the pitch was flatter and they had better wickets in the other games, but 219 should have been defendable with better power play bowling. Honestly, they also should have scored more than 219 considering how Abhishek and Travis Head were doing. 250 was on cards directly after the power play, but then Klaassen and then wickets on the other ends that ended up slowing down the game. At 8.1, they lost Travis Head while being 120 for 1, and they only went on to score 99 runs in 11.5 overs. And this is the thing. It's not that the middle order is inherently bad or anything. They just need to work on their consistency. And in fact, the middle order scored in all of these games prior. Nitish Kumar Reddy won a player of the match, for God's sake. And Klaassen just really needs to improve his strike rate. Middle order batters this season are striking at around 145 to 150 in this day and age, and Klaassen is striking at 141 this season. I get that an anchor is necessary, but is Klaassen really the right guy to do it? This is the same guy who used to score hundreds and 30 deliveries, and now he's not even crossing the 40 mark after 30 deliveries. Their next game is at home against Rajasthan, Chennai, and Delhi. 3 home games in a row. That's actually really good. All good teams to play against at home, but Rajasthan and Delhi are just way too good for them. The Chennai match, probably a win for Chennai as well. 3 losses on the trot for Sunrisers, seeing as Chennai will be really confident against that after that win against DC. Their spin is too good for me to put them down in D tier. Again, they just very much could be D tier. Actually, I might just put them in D tier. They don't seem good enough for C tier just because everything that they're doing is kind of inconsistent. But does inconsistency equal C or D tier? I don't know, man. I'm feeling more D tier than C tier today. GT is next. They've had 2 wins on the trot, and today was their first comfortable win, and their first game that wasn't unbelievably close. Prasidh Krishna was the star in their last couple of games, both in the middle overs and in the death, and their spin has also been really good. In the last 2 games, their pace bowling has fixed their line and length, and has also come up with a really good field setup. Rashid Khan has also been economical and has found form and took wickets against Delhi. Butler also found form, Gill found form, and Sundar has also been playing pretty well with the bat. Sudarshan hasn't been as good as he's been in the past, but he had a really good knock against Rajasthan. And with this, they started going well around the middle, but still falter towards the death. In the last 2 games, they've scored at a run rate of 10.7 at the death, which, it might seem good, but again, if you're scoring at around 9.5 in the other overs, you should be scoring at a higher run rate at the death. So there has been alright, but the trio of Phillips, Tewatia, and Shah Rukh Khan just need a lot of work. I think Tom Benton does deserve an opportunity in this side at number 5, but that just turns it into 5 top-order anchors in the team. They really need someone who can give them quick runs, and I think Jason Holder is a perfect candidate for this. He can replace Glenn Phillips in the playing 11 and can also provide some more bowling strength if required, but they have to bat him as a pure finisher rather than a bowler who can bat a bit, which is not really Holder's usual style. But nonetheless, I still think that he can do well in the side. Kushagra might also be a really good candidate to come in for Shah Rukh Khan. But overall, I'm just going to put them in A tier. Yeah, I see them in A tier. Lucknow has had a good couple of games before being absolutely embarrassed and demolished by Gujarat. Mukul Chowdhury was insane in that game against the Knight Riders, but just playing with a really good whip and power in general. Very tactical batting as well, really did well in those wide Yorkers. Their bowling has also been pretty good with Shami being economical, Prince Yadav taking consistent wickets, Rathi is just been really good. Really not much to say about the bowling. The spinners did really well to keep KKR under 200 that other day. Marsh and Markram were a much better opening combination last year compared to what they're doing right now. It's really their batting that's really bad this year. Their scores have been 37 and 4.4, 41 and 4.1, and 14 and 1.3. Clearly, acceleration is not really a problem, although they could go at better rates. It wouldn't hurt them. They need to stop falling for slower deliveries, though, and easy full deliveries as well. They should stop falling for those. The batting just hasn't been great in general. Other than Mukul Chowdhury, there's only been 350s, which, again, in retrospect, kind of weird to say. It's been 4 games, 350s does kind of make sense. But Pant got his 50 in like 41 deliveries. Badoni should have gotten his a bit quicker. I think he got in like 35, which is, again, still a strike rate of 150-ish. But it's just not that great. There's not much you can do to improve the batting other than bringing in Inglis for Markram, but you have to wait a bit for that. Puran hasn't found form yet either. I think he's playing for external sources instead of Lucknow this year. Maybe you could give Britske a chance ahead of Markram or Marsh just to test him out, but Britske's T20 stats are really bad, averaging 29.3 and striking at 133. Abdul Samad was a missed player in some of the games. Again, he hasn't really done that much for the team, so there's not really much experimenting that you could really do with him. their next 3 games are against the top 3 teams, so I feel like they're going to lose 3 on the trot. Could upset Rajasthan, could upset... I don't think they would upset RCB. They could upset Rajasthan. Maybe could upset Punjab, but I doubt it. Yeah, no way they're winning against those. Chennai won their first game this week. They won their first game this week against the Capitals in Chepauk. First game first game in like 7 matches at Chepauk as well. That's really good. And honestly, they were ahead for the majority of the game. They do have to work on some things, but it seems solid enough to consider them at least C tier. Their current strength is definitely their top order, which, again, it still should be better. If fielding was a category to consider here, I would put fielding as their main strength, but it's not really a factor that I really want to consider. They were good at the death, good at the middle, and good at the power play. I do want to say, though, Ritu struggling really took this from like a 230-ish score to a 210 plus score. He needs to take every ball as it comes rather than thinking about accelerating in the next future or the next over or in the next 10 overs or something like that. You can see it in the way he bats. He's trying to prepare for the later overs to accelerate instead of taking them on the power play, which is kind of the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Sanju played really well. He might ghost in the next couple of games, but he played really well the other day. He scored 100 against his former team, Delhi Capitals. I guess he never played for the Capitals. He played for the Daredevils, but that's before the name change. Matre's been solid. He's had good form. He scored 73 versus Punjab, and he scored 54, was it, off of like 38 against Delhi, so not too bad. Middle order looks okay. It looks better with Brevis there, and actually it looks pretty formidable. Their bowling was pretty good when they did get rolling. Again, this is due to DC spiraling after losing 1 wicket, but Kamboj has done really well with his wide Yorkers, and the team is allowing every bowler to stick to their strengths rather than having a particular set plan that is the same for everyone. Bowling hard lengths did wonders for Overton. Gurjapneet was someone I was looking at along with Zach Folks, and he did well in this game. I would stick with him bowling with Overton, but he should also be bowling the power play. Khalil did okay. Honestly, he does really just seem like a Capitals agent for most of the game, but he was great last season, so I'm not going to really criticize him that much. Spinners still aren't great. I do like how Akil Hussain was decent-ish, just a great prediction by Rahul in that third over. Hussain should also try and not get nervous and not bowl no balls. And also, he should try to be more unexpected and back himself and more on his strengths. Noor did get the all-important wicket of Ashutosh as well, so not really much. There's still some things to take away, but this game was a general positive. Khalil should try and bowl according to matchups. Gurjapneet should also be pairing with him. They should also be pairing with Akil and Kamboj in the power play. They should also try and bat faster in general. They went at 10.2 in the power play, 10.7 in the middle, and 11 at the death. The death bowling was great for DC, so I do get why they ended up slowing down there, but I still think they could have accelerated better. They probably could have gone to 220-ish. Because Samson in the end started playing for his 100 instead of taking risks, which is not something that CSK should keep encouraging. 220 plus was definitely on the cards. Even 230 plus could have been on the cards. And it could have given them a lot of leverage, and they probably could have gotten a better net run rate boost if they got to 230 or even 225. But again, this one match doesn't fix everything. I still believe that the team is bad. They need a lot more work if they want to go up and challenge teams like Kolkata, the Sunrisers, or in Mumbai, which are their next 3 matches. These teams, while not the best, can still put up tough competitions. In fact, Mumbai was on most people's playoffs contenders. They couldn't defend 210 against Punjab, and they probably can't even put 210 up against the Mumbai's bowling, let alone defend 210. I think the batting should be going a lot faster as well. The bowling, it's actually pretty good. I still do think that it's below average, but it's not been too bad. But they shouldn't be carried away by overcorrections. Considering all of this, I'm going to put them in C tier. RCB had 2 games this week, 1 win and 1 loss, against MI and Rajasthan respectively. But they both had the same strengths and weaknesses. RCB's best strength is definitely their star-studded middle order, which just has been really good. Rajat Patidar, Tim David, Romario Shepherd. Am I missing someone? I'm missing Krunal Bani. I'm missing Jitesh Sharma. Yeah, that's a pretty good middle order. Devdutt Padikkal can bat at 3 or 4. In the Rajasthan game, they missed out on playing Siyash in favor of scoring a couple of extra runs with Venki so that they could score above 200, which futile attempt, but it made sense at the moment. In the next game, they dropped Hazelwood so that they could play Duffy and played Siyash Sharma instead of Abhinandan Singh, and then Rashik Dar ended up being their impact player. Against Rajasthan, they probably could have gotten some earlier wickets if Siyash was there, but Suryavanshi and Jarrell were just on a roll together. But Siyash was still great today. I don't think that's the primary reason why they still lost the Rajasthan game. Obviously, the batting didn't do that well, but it is still a weak point. Honestly, I think they should just go with 3 overseas players in the main 11, being Salt or Bethel. But again, Salt was just good in this game, so I do think he deserves a longer lifeline. David and Hazelwood, and use Duffy or Shepherd as the impact player when required. The thing is, RCB doesn't really have a good third pace bowler that they can fit into their team while including Shepherd, so they have to get some coverage there. Thank you, Arav, again, for mentioning this. Honestly, while Duffy has been expensive, he's done well with wide deliveries and could probably work better with Hazelwood. If they go with this, it could be a lot better for their team, and maybe if you don't feel safe with it, you could also play Venki in the main playing 11 instead of Shepherd and keep Duffy in as a third bowler. Overall, this team is A tier. They still have some kinks to work out, but again, I think they're the second best team in the league right now. Still some fixing needed, though. And finally, Mumbai. They really just suck with their middle order and spin. Well, other things aren't going well for them either. Like, there's just like everything's just going wrong for them after that first win against KKR. In the RCB game, things were way below par for them. They only looked to have finished well, but that's because Rutherford went insane after the match was basically over. They gave a lot of runs to Patidar in the middle, and at the death, they were actually pretty solid with the overs from Bolt and Bumrah, but RCB still managed to put up 240 somehow. Their power play bowling did try to build some pressure, and Santner did end up making a comeback after being bashed by Salt, but they did try to bowl a lot of easier deliveries to Salt and didn't really stick to their plans, nor did they try to vary themselves much. They're looking for a second fiddle to Santner, who, again, while the stats might not show it, did okay today. He only gave 21 runs in the last 3 overs, if I'm not wrong. He went for 22 in his first over, though. Markande didn't work just because he was too easy to hit, but they brought him on against Patidar, which is probably the worst batter to bring him on against in the whole league, at least in this season. I don't know what they were thinking at that point. Their middle order couldn't recover after the loss of Rickleton, and they still kept losing wickets. The partnership between Hardik and Surya was good, but they weren't batting at a good enough pace. They were never on track to chase down 240. They were just going at 10 the entire time, but they were going at 10 the entire game. They should have gone at least 10.5. They were going at 10, which is kind of crazy. They didn't seem like they just wanted to get to 220, honestly, and just take the game. Whoa. It seemed like they just wanted to get to 220, but just take the game deep from there. They're also kind of weak to slower balls. Still kind of crazy. Tilak Verma is very weak to slower balls. Surya is kind of weak to slower balls. Hardik got out against a slower ball. Yeah. They have to know when to predict those and have their game awareness on. They're up against Punjab, Gujarat, and CSK next. The Punjab game will be difficult to place a 220 plus total on, and Iyer can easily chase 220 plus totals, as we've seen in the last couple of matches. The power play bowling will also do worse against both GT and Punjab. The CSK game could be a good one. I'm still backing CSK on that one. Again, they are my favorite team. MIM is my least favorite team. But, I still do think MI is C tier. Maybe I think they're below Lucknow. And that's it. I know this doesn't really look like the current table. And I'm probably wrong about these, so tell me how I'm wrong in the comments. And again, this is just a prediction. It's probably all going to be wrong. Yeah, that's it. Bye.